Alright, hello everybody, this is me testing something new out entirely. So we will be testing out more or less just showcasing a new style I'm going to be doing. It's an attempt to see if this is a much better format, so that way I don't have to worry about watching what I'm doing as I'm doing it. This way I can focus on the game and then I can re-record it afterwards. So we'll try this format out. As you can see, I bought the battle pass. As you can see, I have my alien bro. I really like the giant eye skin cosmetic, the armor of course, and I have the harvesting pickaxe that's like pure rainbow effect going on. It seems like it's a nice feature. And I'm going to here we go. Alright. And we'll just skip a little bit ahead to getting the battle bus. Here we go. Okay. Alright. Here we go. Now. Here we go. Okay. So the logic of what I was doing is that the particular match I had to land in Corny, and that is basically where we're going to start this off. Yeah, I've got the UFO umbrella for winning, although, I guess really any works, but I like it because it looks space oriented. I know there's some more, but I don't probably have them, so. I did recently get the, cosmic hands and feet, that are in the battle pass, so that should be easily looked at. I love the gas cans. Honestly, they are great things for when you're needing to burn stuff, which is exactly what I do in this situation. Also, I'm like 90% sure I also had to do a thing of setting up people on fire in general. That's good to see that the triangles on screen also count for the dudes I'm fighting. Oh, that's good to know. See, what happened is I hit him with the car and he went flying through the air, and I had sworn he went to the left. He did not. He went to the right. It's not every day Corny Complex doesn't even get anybody. Usually there's a visitor or two involved with it. I mostly just set it on fire to help kill the one guy, and it was a fast way to, you know, grab the loot. You know, because I had like mini quests and stuff I wanted to do, so if you burned it, all the loot would drop down, and that way I would just have it. Those boxes have food items. Coconuts heal you a small slow percentile towards armor, but they'll also heal health as well, which, knowing that, I probably should have healed up and then used the coconut, so that way my armor would be higher than typical, around 50, 60. Especially since there's another box right there, and I had corn, which so I could have easily had gotten it. In fact, at that very moment, I literally do that very thing. Slurp mushrooms, as you know, can be found in the slurp area on the bottom left of the map. They heal you, as you see, a chunk of shield. As you see, I'm just sort of investigating the burn damage. I'm very bad at assembling walls and terrain, so I decided to move on. Never a bad thing to have the med kit instead of bandages, in my opinion. Especially if you're running out into where the chaos is going to be. Granted, I had no idea that nobody was going to be near me, and like I said, Courtney Complex is one of those places you usually see some people. If memory serves me correctly, as I was going to this area to collect, to basically collect up on, food, as well as, burning stuff. I like the little apple orchard at the top of the map. It is really nice in getting food, which food I really enjoy using. Found a sniper rifle, which, yeah, I'm gonna take that. Should have kept the machine gun and just used the pistol in exchange, but that's fine. One of my favorite things to do is to set that off in there, because all those guardrails, baskets, and fruit, they drop, you know, corn and or apples, so if you burn that place, you have a good chance of having that drop if you're really looking to get a lot of stuff. Which, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I was doing. Again, just sort of relaxing. Sorry, this isn't the most... I heard noise. I'm pretty sure that's just the wooden terrain basically being destroyed. I'm just sort of roaming around. I am taking this, and I've found that the nuts and bolts you can use to upgrade weapons. My favorite one so far is the shotgun. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun. Of course, obviously, if I do some more of this kind of game style, and it's boring games like this, then I'll probably do something to the equivalent of trying to figure out a way to fast forward these. But yeah, there's a lot of fruit, and apples heal 5 hit points when you use them. I prefer corn because at least I think they heal like 10 hit points over time. And if you eat like 3 of them, you'll heal a lot faster. Apples are only like 5 hit points. I think this is me checking maps, quest areas, also just the side quest, because if my memory really does come back to me, it's that I had to eat like a certain amount of foraged items, And, you know, with all the corn and apple, I pretty much was like, hey, I can totally do that. This is also a good place for anybody who has to, like, you know, if your mission requires you to collect apples or corn, this is a good place to do it. I don't know why the boxes are hovering in the air. They're not supposed to be, but those are sort of the boxes I was talking about. I was considering running, but with the amount of forged items here, I figured I could probably just consume a lot of forged items and then make my way, you know, out of here. Not necessarily the greatest decision to do that, because you do lose. It's like, hey, you do have to basically sit in a storm, which means whatever you were going to take, you ain't going to be able to take it. But I goof off. I can't take the game seriously. I refuse to. So it's just, I'm just farming. I grabbed my 15 corn. I basically was like, well, I've got to run a little bit of a distance, so I might as well just eat some food on the way there. Because like I said, you're gonna eat some food, because unfortunately that's just how it goes. Yeah, still, it's amazing. I think I met one person, and I'm fairly certain that one person was a bot. But see, yeah, you eat corn. It's a really fast. A lot of the forgeable consumer items don't heal you up quickly, but like if you eat 3 to 4 at a time, you gain a good amount of health, and you have the ability and the luxury of not having to wait the 10 seconds like a med kit would for that kind of, you know, regeneration. I had a blue pistol at the time. Unfortunately, won't show it. But yeah, here we go. Back to this. It's just me setting things on fire. And then me, of course, turning to the left, and it's like, oh god. I got lucky I didn't get set on fire during that whole thing. But yeah, it's just me setting things on fire, because that's just what I like to do. Right now I'm hitting this to recoup the corn I used to get, you know, to get out of the storm, because you can get corn. I think it's like a 50-50, more or less, depending on how you know, get at it, the stalks of corn. I'll have to figure out how to this. That's probably going to be the main difference, is that recording doesn't show the exact item inventory I have. But that's okay. Sort of me just goofing off and me grabbing more nuts and bolts. The logic, I think, was that at some point I'm gonna probably get a new shotgun, and I really, like I said, I like the lever action shotgun. So the idea was, when I get a stronger shotgun, I can get a new lever one, basically. I went into here to see if there was any good stuff. There wasn't really anything. Nothing caught my interest, basically, which was kind of disappointing, but it happens. I think, for the most part, I was still just concerned about the fact that, like, for the most part, I still hadn't even ran into it, mostly anybody. I saw that little statue, so I ran over towards it, sort of to just see what was going on with it. I could hear gunfire. I knew something was going down near me, but you hear it, you don't know whether to investigate it or not. My mentality, 9 times out of 10, I try not to get involved with other people fighting other people, because, and I know it's a battle royale, you gotta fight them anyway, but sometimes most of the time I feel like just not getting involved. Sometimes I decide to say, you know what, I'm gonna go for it, but just sort of depends on how I'm doing, how the situation is, and how confident I am that I can take that person and the other person as well, because as you know, if you hit one and kill them, then that person's just gonna have the third person at you. There you go, more gunfire, but you know. I was going to investigate the gunfire, but I always kept thinking about the fact that the storm was basically right behind me, so... I figured I'll just get to the circle, deal with whatever else is next. I like my glowing yellow backpack too. It's a nice item. You could customize it too, depending on the items you've bought for your other alien bro. It's a cool item. I like it. I like that you can also keep it different, because that's the default metal. And it looks nice. So now that I'm out into the area, my idea was that I'm going to now check out all that gunfire and the sounds of it. And at that moment, I could see, like, just barely somebody else. I saw them for a second, and I was like, what happened to them? Because I could see them not zoomed in, but just barely did I start to notice them. And legendary, not being seen, and yet still misses a bunch of shots. But I got him. Took 3 shots to do it, and I was basically waiting because I wasn't certain if that was a bot or not, but the way they looked back into the storm made me think they weren't alone. Or that, you know, they also looked a little bit to my left, which made me think that somebody else was there, so I cautiously moved on. I was happy to see that they had dropped sniper ammo. And now we moved on. Had 10 seconds to move, so it's really important to get a move on. Especially since the most direct route was that literal hill, which meant that I'd have to craft like a staircase, but I'm really bad at the building in this game, so I'ma just go around, so I've got to start getting a head start on on that. I saw all that loot and I figured if I had the time, I would definitely go get it. But it's just not something I had the luxury of getting. As you'll see, me staring at all that loot to the right caused me to miss something important, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, I was also confident that like there was someone watching all that loot, because it's just that's so much loot that it's like there can't just not be somebody waiting for somebody to come up and take it. I was beating the storm and I saw the ladders or the stairs, so I figured somebody was here trying to get a peeking advantage. So I figured I would get the advantage of being on the higher, I've got the advantage. I'm on the higher ground. And with a sniper rifle, never a bad combo. Just sort of moving on up. I start hearing gunfire, which is not that surprising with the circle and 9 people left. I saw that person moving. Shot number 4 that I missed. Luckily, it looked like they didn't necessarily see me, so that's nice. You know, you hearing the gunshots and everything. I don't see what's happening. I see somebody who just got taken down. And, you know, there you go. Perfect timing. I had a literal 5-second window to hit them in the head, and I couldn't even pull that shot off. I figured I'd move down, considering I hit a person, they'd probably be trying to counter-snipe me, or at least find a way to get back at me. I knew that at least they were recovering, so the idea was that they'd be coming at me full charge. I was worried that chicken would constantly keep walking over to me and keep running away surprised, so therefore it would be the equivalent of constantly revealing where I am without even telling anyone. Like I said, I'm just sort of moving on up. I'm being cautious and careful. I know someone's there, and I know someone's probably upset with me. And I see somebody, and I'm basically waiting to see them no longer move. Again, they're using a medkit. I have the full ability to just hit them and kill them in a headshot. I couldn't even pull it off. Had to pull out the pistol to do the final blow. But that's the person I was aiming for earlier, so that's a good sign. Now with 4 people left, I imagine I was nervous mostly just because that was 2 high-level people's loot just lying in the open. It, to me, the equivalent of someone's going to try to go for it. Like, I wanted to go for it, but it's also like wide open, so it's like someone with a rifle is going to be aiming down it, which is exactly what I was basically. I'm like, if no one goes for it, I'm going to get it. Because I was not only trying to find out where everyone else, there's 4 people. I need to know. Then I saw that being made. I thought about not shooting them. It didn't last long not to. I figured I could get away with killing one of them because it's such a distance that I could basically reposition, grab the loot, and not worry about it. You know, I grabbed, you know, legendary stuff. I grabbed upgrading materials, you know. Now it's like, okay, there's 3 out of 3 people left. Now I just gotta find them. I saw that and I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? And apparently there was like, I guess, a parasite on a wolf. It was crazy. I heard some gunshots, so I figured, oh. And I was checking my rear because I wanted to make sure. I think I was double checking basically of the loot here. Like, okay, I grabbed the rifle, ran over to see if I could kill the 3rd guy, and then it's like, okay, nobody's gone after the loot, I'll take it now. And with the circle closing in, eventually overwhelming that loot, it wouldn't be an issue. You know, there's a launch pad, that's always good to see. Then I noticed like there's metal walls at the bottom being built, and that wasn't something they did, which made me realize there's another person inside that tower. And they're not even paying attention to me, so it's like I just lined up the shot and boom, got him. Now came the hardest part, I guess you could say. You know, now we're looking for that final person. Obviously, I think what I'm going to try to stick to is just recording as I play. And I'll go with that because it feels like the, you know, moments you miss aren't as interesting. Because it's like, you just missed me line up the shot and get the headshot. Like, or at least from my perspective, it looks like I missed it. Or you missed me getting it. And again, this is, me and the other dude are probably doing the exact same thing of going into a building and basically hiding at the edge of the circle to basically look for the person. And as I said, I picked up I think that was me upgrading the submachine gun, that legendary machine gun, basically. So the circle's moving away from me, so I figured I gotta move soon. I figured I was gonna go around here. I saw the scanner, which is what I got a little crazy about. I saw the purple glow, which gave them away. Yeah. I should have fired at that tree sooner, but I didn't. There's the guy with the aliens. And there you go. I did it. Yeah.